Hello students, before we start our chapter, I would like to request you all to watch our introductory 2 videos given by me so that you will be clear about the 3-step strategy to do Dhamaka in physics exams. We have given the videos in the description box, or you can just click on our videos displayed at the end of this video for either introductory 2 videos or the next videos. Okay then, let's enjoy physics by Mr. Patel, who has a long, profound experience of 29 years of teaching physics in Sainik School, Balachari.
Chapter 11, Dual Nature of Radiation and Matter. This chapter we'll see about, in the end of this chapter, we'll see that matter has dual nature, that is, it acts as a wave sometimes and it acts as a particle also. Correct? We have studied already the Hertz and the Maxwell. Maxwell gave the electromagnetic equation for the electromagnetic waves, and Hertz produced the electromagnetic waves, and that was a strong support in the favor of the wave theory. It proves strongly. Correct? Now let us see the electron emission. The emission of electron from the metal surface. We know that the metal have free electrons and they can move within the metal, that is negatively charged particle, that are responsible for their conductivity. Metals are good conductor due to the free electrons. However, the free electron cannot normally escape out of the metal surface. They cannot escape out of the metal. Suppose there is a water in a pot. Water molecules, they cannot leave the surface. Correct? When at the surface, the molecules, they are having the maximum energy. Correct? They can overcome the attractive force of the other molecules within the liquid. They can escape only and evaporate. It evaporates slowly. In the case of the metals, electrons are free. When electron becomes free, the remaining atom becomes positive charge. That is, we call ion, positive ions and negative ions. That is, electrons are negatively charged. Negative ion. So, electrons, they move within the metal. The free electron easily, due to the thermal agitation, acquire some energy and they detach from the atom. So, they move freely, but they cannot leave the surface. Correct? If they want to leave the surface, then the surface becomes positively charged. Correct? The negative charge is removed, so the remaining portion will become the positively charged. It attracts. So, in order to remove the electron from the metal surface, sufficient energy is required to be supplied. Let us see. That are responsible for their conductivity. However, the free electrons cannot normally escape out of the metal surface. The free electrons cannot normally escape out of the surface. The free electrons is thus inside the metal surface by the attractive forces of ions. There is an attractive force between the ion and the electron. If sufficient and the electrons can come out of the metal surface, it can come out only if it has got sufficient energy to overcome the attractive force. Then if it is supplied some energy which is sufficient to overcome the attractive force between the surface and the electron, then it can come out of the surface. A certain minimum amount of energy required to give an electron to pull out from the surface of the metal, correct, is required. This minimum energy required by an electron to escape from the metal surface is called the work function phi 0. Correct? The unit of phi 0 is in electron volt. Electron volt, the unit is used in the atomic and nuclear physics. The 1 electron volt is the energy imparted to the electron when it is accelerated from the, say this is negatively charged plate, this is positively charged plate. When electron moves, this difference is 1 volt. If difference between two electrons is 1 volt, when electron moves between these two, it will be attracted towards the positive plate. The energy of an electron is called electron volt. So, work done is equal to W is equal to E, the charge Q into potential difference. We know that potential is the work done per unit charge. So, if Q charge moves from one point to the another point in an electric field, then the work done is Q times V. Q is E here, EV. E is the charge of an electron 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, and the volt potential difference is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb into, this is coulomb into 1 volt. The coulomb into volt is joule. So, 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. Correct? So, 1 electron volt is the energy gained by an electron when it has been accelerated by a potential difference of 1 volt. So, that 1 electron volt is equal to charge of an electron E into 1 that is 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb into volt. C is the coulomb and V is the volt, potential difference unit, that is called the joules. Coulomb into volt is joule. So, unit of this 1 electron volt is also equal to this many joules, 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules also. There are larger units also, MeV, million electron volt, that is 10 raised to 6 volt. We will see in the nuclear physics, correct? Because nuclear energy is very high, and it is energy of nuclear energy is measured in the million electron volt. For an example, when uranium atom is bombarded by slow deuterium 235, 92 235 is split into the two fragments, barium and krypton, about the nearly equal masses, along with the liberation of 3 neutron plus energy, that is 200 million electron volt is energy is liberated during the one fission of uranium atom. This unit of energy is used in atomic and the nuclear physics. It is given here as per in our book, but in nuclear physics this unit is very small, so generally we use million electron volt. Now, factors affecting the work function phi 0. Phi 0 is the work function, that is minimum energy required to dislodge or remove the electron from the atom. The work function phi 0, this is not phi, it is called phi 0, depends on the properties of the metal. It is different for different metals. The work function of platinum is highest, that is 5.65 electron volt, and work function for the cesium is lowest. For cesium it is phi 0 is 2.14. Sometimes they ask in the examination work function, what are the units, correct, of the work function, correct? What is the work function, what is its unit, and which metal has minimum work function or which has maximum also. Types of electron emissions. There are 3 types of electron emission. Electron can be removed from the metal by 3 ways. Correct? Thermionic emission. Thermo is Latin word. Thermo is heat. That is emission of electron due to heat. Emission of free electrons from the metal by suitably heating is called the thermionic emission. This process is used in the thermionic valve, which are not in your course now, discarded, and we use the transistor and semiconductor diode. So, after use of the semiconductor, they are discarded due to their limitations, correct? And bulky, they are bulky, not durable, very costly also, correct? And needs a more power to operate with comparison of the transistor, we will see in the semiconductor unit also. The field emission, cold emission, by applying a very strong electric field of the order of 10 raised to 8, remember, sometimes they ask in the examination, what is the electric field value required to remove the electron from the metal surface, that is 10 raised to 8 volt per meter. This, correct? This is the unit of electric field, volt per meter. to a metal. The electrons can be pulled out from the metal as in the spark plug or in X-ray tube also. Correct? This is called the cold emission also. So, if you apply the high potential, you must have seen the Coolidge tube, X-ray tube, in which there are two electrodes, aluminum cathode is used. This is a negative electron and this is a positive electrodes. Anode is like this. Anode is tungsten molybdenum is embedded in it. This is anode A. This is cathode. This is anode A. They are connected with the induction coil, high voltage supply. Correct. So this cathode is a concave in shape. This is not a real axial shape of the tube, and it is just like the sphere. It is like a sphere. But I have used like this. There is no space, and it is circular. But the anode is kept at the center of curvature of this. So electron emitted, electrons are pulled out when high potential 50,000 or 1 lakhs volt is applied. Volt. Or more than that even. The electron will be pulled out. Correct? They will be bombarded on these tungsten atoms. So this tungsten, they remove the electrons and X-rays are produced due to this interaction. So this is, we are not hitting this cathode, it's cold. So it is called the cold emission also. So it is called a cold emission or field emission. High electric field is supplied. So electrons are removed from the cathode and they are bombarded on the anode. Correct? So they remove the electrons from the anodes from the orbit. So the vacancy is filled by the jump of another electron. So difference of the energy is radiated in the form of X-rays. Correct? This is called the field emission. The last, third one is photoelectric emission. When light of suitable frequency illuminates a metal surface and electrons are emitted from the metal surface, we know that the electrons can be removed if sufficient energy is supplied. Otherwise, electrons they can move freely. Moment it try to escape from the metal, the surface becomes positively charged, will attract the electron back. So, in order to remove the electron, escape for the electron, the slightly more than minimum energy that must be applied to overcome the pull, that is attractive force. The suitable frequency of illuminates a metal surface. Right? Electrons are emitted from the metal surface. This photo generated or light generated electrons are called photoelectrons because the electron emission is due to the light. Light means photo. Photon means light. Correct? Photo is another word of light. Correct? Now, the work function of some metals are given in the table 11.1. The 50, the table 11.1 work function of some metals. Cesium 2.14, potassium 2.3 electron volt, all are in the electron coordinate. Sodium 2.75, calcium 3.2, molybdenum 4.17, lead 4.25. It is in increasing order. Aluminum has more than lead, 4.28 electron volt. Mercury has 4.49, copper has 4.65, silver has 4.7, nickel has 5.15 and platinum has maximum 5.65. So, cesium has minimum and platinum has maximum. Remember, sometimes they ask which has minimum or which has maximum. Photoelectric effect. What is the definition? The phenomena of emission of electrons from a metal surface when electromagnetic radiation of sufficiently high frequency are incident on it is called the photoelectric effect. The photon means, as we have seen, the photon means light. The light generated electrons are called photoelectrons. It was invented by J.J. Thomson in 1897. While studying with the discharge tube, he passed the beam through the electric and magnetic field, and from that he measured the charge, specific charge of electron, that is E by m. Millikan later on, an English scientist, he measured the charge of an electron by his oil drop experiment, and the ratio that gave the mass of the electron also. We will see later on. So, J.J. Thomson was the man to say that it is a negative charge is the electron. So, no photoelectrons are emitted in frequency if frequency of incident radiation is less than the certain minimum frequency called the threshold frequency, remember, called threshold frequency. Metals like zinc, cadmium, these were studied by the William Holwach and the Philip Lenard. After the Hertz experiment, Hertz invented this photoelectric effect first in 1887 while studying with the discharge of electricity through gases. Generally, gases, they refuse electricity, they do not allow the pass electricity through them because gases are insulator. If electricity passes through the gases, then open wire is there in your room, you will get a shock. If it passes from the air, is a mixture of gases after all. So, generally it refuses, but when low potential 0.01 millimeter and high potential difference is applied between the cathode and the anode, that is, they are the two plates in the tube, vacuum tube, correct? Vacuum is, is highly evacuated, 0.001 millimeter of mercury, is very less pressure, then it conducts, correct? From that they invented. So, they were also studying the Holwach and the Lenard, they studied the photoelectric effect in details after the Hertz experiment. Correct. So, they did this experiment with the different metals also. Metals like zinc, cadmium, Mg respond only to ultraviolet light. They pass the light and they show that there is a negatively charged particles are emitted from that, because they connected the plate with the electroscope and studied it, and from that they calculated. Another experiment in which they use the discharge tube having the two plates, cathode and the anode, and connected the battery. Say this is the discharge tube. This was the cathode, this cathode, anode, they were connected. This is negative, this is positive. This is positive, this is negative. When it was irradiated with the waves, ultraviolet rays, it emitted electrons, correct? And due to the electron, they were attracted by the anode, the current flows in the circuit. The current flows in the circuit as long as the light falls. Moment the light stops, it is irradiating the cathode, C, by ultraviolet rays is stopped, the current also stops. They put the milliammeter also in the circuit to measure the current. There is no space, so I am speaking, you can remember, I think. So, this was the experiment they did. So, they said this is a positively charged plate, so this must be the negatively charged. They were not knowing, they didn't give the name electron, negative charge. They were knowing only the negative charge, negatively charged particles. Correct? Electron name was given by the J.J. Thomson. He was the man to discover the electron. So, they did with the different metals, zinc, cadmium, Mg, etc., and they conclude that they respond to only ultraviolet light, very short wavelength. Ultraviolet has shortest in the sun rays to cause electron emission. However, some alkali metals, they respond to visible light also, red, blue, green, etc. Lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium and rubidium are sensitive even to visible light. They are sensible to visible light. Correct? These are the ultraviolet light. They need more energy to remove the electron from this metal. This metal, they need less energy. So, visible light can remove the electron from that. So, electron emission takes place when visible light falls on this material. Correct? They also studied the effect of the potential and the intensity and the frequency on the effect. Correct? So, how the photoelectric current changes with the intensity. Intensity increases, then photoelectric current also increases. Frequency, it does not depend on the frequency, current does not depend, but emission depends on the frequency. More is the potential difference, more will be the current. If you give the more potential, more electrons will be attracted toward the E. Correct? So, intensity and the potential, it depends on that, but frequency, it does not depend upon the frequency only. It is required to remove the electron. Certain minimum frequency is required because energy is given by h nu. Energy is given by energy of a photon is given by h nu. Nu is the frequency. This is the energy of a photon. This is photon. The energy is, as the frequency say nu, then energy of photon is given by h nu. H is the Planck constant. All these photosensitive substances emit electrons when they are illuminated by light. Now, experimental study of photoelectric effect. Hallwatch and Philip Lenard, they did the experimental study. Correct? This is the apparatus of their experiment. Correct? This is a vacuum tube, evacuated glass tube, to avoid the collision between electrons and the other atoms of the air or gas which is filled. This is a quarters window. This is a quarters window. This photosensitive plate C is called the cathode. This is anode because this is connected with the battery through the commutator. Commutator, that is, you can reverse the current also. Voltmeter put in the circuit, this is parallel, that measures the potential difference. Microammeter measures the current in the circuit. This is a rheostat to change the voltage. This is a battery. Correct? So, battery potential you can change by changing the position of this point over the rheostat. This is variable resistance. Correct? It is a resistance, but it can be varied. This is a variable point. These are fixed point. If you connect these two with this, then you cannot change the voltage. But if you put this, then you can change it. Correct? If you put it here, then less resistance put in the circuit. If you put it here, almost least resistance is put. If you put it here, then you can increase the resistance. When increase the resistance, potential drop will be here. So, here potential drop will be less. So, it consists of an evacuated glass or quarter tubes having the photosensitive plate C. This is a photosensitive zinc plate or any other plate, photosensitive one. Material is a photosensitive. And another metal plate A, that is anode. This should be photosensitive. The monochromatic light from the source, S of sufficiently short wavelength pass through the windows. Correct? This is a glass window, is the light pass and falls on the photosensitive plate or cathode C, which is photosensitive plate. So, electrons will be liberated. The electron, they will be attracted toward the positively charged, positive plate A, and falls on the photosensitive plate C. Correct? The light falls on the photosensitive C. This is called it emits the electron, so it is also called the cathode or emitter, because it emits the electron. This is anode or collector also, because it collects the electrons. It attacks the electron and collects. A transparent quartz window is sealed. This is a transparent quartz window is sealed on the glass tube. This is a glass tube, which permits the ultraviolet radiation to pass through it and irradiate the plate C. It will pass through the tube and allow to fall on the plate C. The electrons are emitted. The electrons are emitted from the plate C and are collected by the plate A, because potential of this is positive with respect to this. The battery maintains the potential difference between anode and the anode that can be varied by This potential difference also can be, battery provides the potential difference that can be also varied by potential. The polarity of these plates C and A can be also reversed. You can make the A negative and C positive also. Even if you make positive, sufficient energy having the photons, it will liberate the electrons, remember, correct? But this will be, if it is negative, it will repel, but sufficiently having more energy of electron, they will reach. We will see later on this one. The experimental study of the photoelectric effect, this continue from the yesterday's lecture, in the continuity with that yesterday's lecture. The polarity of the plate C and the A can be reversed by commutator. This is a plug commutator, and the polarity of these plates C and A, or A and C, can be changed. So, if this is a positive portion, this is a positive end. If this is connected with this, the C will be positive, correct? It will go like this. If this is connected with this, then this A will be positive and C will be negative. This is connected with the C. This will be connected with this. So, if this is connected with this, then this C will be negative. So, C can be made negative or positive. The polarity can be changed. Polarity of C and A can be changed by the plug commutator. This commutator, more specially, it is called plug commutator. It is one kind of plug or key, but it is called commutator because it can reverse the current, correct? It can make C positive or negative. Thus, the plate A can be maintained at a desired positive or negative potential with respect to the emitter C. Emitter C, that is, this is a zinc plate, metallic plate or photosensitive plate which emits the electron, correct? Or it is called emitter or cathode also. This is anode. Anode is also called collector because it collects the electrons. The electrons, when A is positive with respect to C, when A is positive, electrons are negatively charged particle. When light falls, the photoelectrons will be emitted from the emitter C, or correct, or cathode C. The electrons are negatively charged particle, and when A is positive, they will be attracted towards the A. The current will flow in the circuit that can be measured by the microammeter, and potential difference can be measured by the voltmeter connected parallel to it, correct? If we increase the potential, the current will also increase. So, if we increase the potential of the A more positive, more electrons it will attract. So, current is directly proportional to the potential difference. The emission of the electrons cause flow of electric current in the circuit. The potential difference between the C and the A plates is measured by the voltmeter V. The photocurrent is measured by the microammeter kept in the series, correct? Voltmeter is connected parallel. This is in the series. You can put it here or here, anywhere in the circuit. The photoelectric current can be increased or decreased by varying the potential of collector plate A with respect to the emitter C. The intensity of the light is varied by the changing the distance between the plate and the source. So if you change the distance, then also intensity you can change. So distance is less, intensity will be more. It is inversely proportional to square of the distance. You can see while reading a book, when you are keeping the your position nearer to the bulb, intensity is more. If you keep the double distance, intensity will be 1/4 and it will be dim light, you will get a high strain. So that is not advisable. You should have a sufficient light to eliminate the letters written in your book. So distance, the intensity is inversely proportional to square of the distance. So if S is kept nearer half distance, then intensity will be 4 times. If you keep the S at a double distance, intensity will be 1/4. So what happens actually when intensity increases, source is nearer, more photon will fall on the plate. So more electrons will be ejected. So more current will flow. So it is directly proportional to intensity of light. Photoelectrons is directly proportional to intensity of light. And potential intensity of the light can be changed by changing the distance of light source, correct? Light of different nu can be used by putting a appropriate color filters or color glass also. If you put in the path of the light the color glass, suppose red glass, then it will permit only red light, other colors it will absorb. So red light will fall on the cathode C or emitter to inject the electrode. So red light has different frequency than that of the green. Violet also. Similarly, you can put the glass or the such color paper filters to change the frequency. So light of different frequency can be used by putting a appropriate color filter or color glass in the path of light falling on the emitter C. We can use the experimental arrangement to study the variation of photocurrent. The above arrangement can be used to study the variation of photoelectric current with the intensity. When intensity increases, current increases, and with the frequency of the incident light or radiation, and potential difference if you increase, also current will increase. Correct? Frequency, then it will not change the current, but saturation current will be same if you change the frequency, but there will be stopping potential will be different for different frequencies. We will see later on. Correct? And fourth, the nature of the material of the plate. So you can study these factors by varying the variation of the photocurrent with the intensity, with the frequency, with the, that is intensity I, frequency nu, potential difference V, and the material of the plate. That is, you can change the plate. Now, keeping the frequency nu and the potential fixed. If we keep the nu and the V fixed, frequency and potential, and if we varying the intensity, if we change the intensity, more the intensity, that is less distance of the source from the emitter C, more photons will fall on the plate, more electron will be ejected, so current will increase. So intensity, if you change the intensity, then photocurrent will be directly proportional to the intensity. The photoelectric current versus the intensity of the light. So intensity increases, photocurrent also increases. The graph plotted is straight line because more electrons are emitted. In the first case, we have seen that the change of the photocurrent with the intensity, keeping the potential constant and the frequency. Now, second case, effect of potential on the photoelectric current. We will keep the frequency same, but we will change the potential. Correct? The intensity and the frequency are kept fixed, and we will change the potential. You know that if we change the potential, what will happen? For a particular frequency nu of the incident radiation, the minimum negative, that is retarding potential V0 given to the plate A. If A is kept negative, that is retarding potential, negative potential, remember, C is the emitter, emits the electrons, and A is positive, but if you keep, by changing the position of the, you can do it with the commutator, plug commutator, that is, If you keep the plate A negative, what will happen? A will repel the electrons. So current will decrease. For which the totally for a particular value of the retarding potential or negative potential of the plate A, that is anode, correct? Called the photocurrent stops or becomes zero, and this is called the cutoff or stopping potential. Very important term. Correct? The interpretation now. All the photoelectrons emitted from the metal plate C, that is emitter, do not have the same energy. Photoelectric current is zero when the stopping potential is sufficient to repel even the most energetic photoelectrons. With the maximum kinetic energy, say K maximum, so that the K maximum is equal to E into V0. This is the retarding potential, V0. The graph is like that. If you keep the intensity, keep the position of the bulb same, that is intensity say I1, and measure the photoelectric current with the collector plate potential. Collector plate potential, that is anode. Anode is made negative. If you make the negative, it will repel electrons, the current will decrease. It will decrease, and for a particular value of potential, retarding potential, the currents drop to zero. This is called the cutoff voltage or stopping potential. What is that? It is called stopping potential or cutoff voltage. This is. So it is zero. Now we are changing here, we are keeping the frequency same. Remember, frequency is the same. In the first case also frequency is same. And we have changed only intensity. When intensity we change, the more photons of the light fell on the collector C emitter, and more electrons will be ejected and more current flows in the circuit. So photoelectric current is directly proportional intensity in the first case. There we kept the potential constant and the frequency constant. Here also we have kept the intensity constant in the first case, frequency also constant, but we have changed the potential. If retarding potential, that is A is kept negative, so it will repel the electrons, correct? And when it is sufficiently negative, it will repel the most energetic electron also, because all electrons, they do not possess the same energy. And the potential, negative potential, retarding potential for which the photocurrent stops or becomes zero, this is called the cutoff voltage, correct? Or stopping potential. It is called stopping potential. It stops the electrons coming toward the A. Now, keeping the frequency same, if we change the intensity, higher intensity, that is less distance of the source of light S from the plate, S is brought nearer, moved nearer to the C, toward the C, that is. So you say intensity is I2, then more photoelectrons will fall, correct? So saturation current will become more. So saturation, value of the saturation current is more, but after this value, the current won't increase, because all the electrons are attracted toward the A. Now when you make A negative, decrease the potential of the A, the current will decrease. And if you make the negative, decrease in the negative direction, then current will again increase. For a particular value, again it will become zero. So stopping potential for both the cases, I1 and I2, intensity changes, but frequency remains the same. The stopping potential remains the same. Very important and crucial point to be remembered. For same frequency, stopping potential is same. Remember, if you change the intensity again, say I3, more than the, keep still further nearer to the plate, source is brought more nearer to the cathode C, that is emitter C. And again the potential of the A anode decrease, so it will start repelling the electrons, current will decrease, and if you decrease in the negative direction, by reversing the direction of the current by using a commutator. You can change make it negative. So when A is made negative, this is 0, this is positive direction, this is negative direction, you can see. Again, it will stop the emission of electron, that is at a potential minus V0. It totally repel, stop the current is 0, that is here. This is the current direction, photocurrent. The current become 0. So this is the graph of the photocurrent against the potential. When at this potential, current is 0. Let us see again, repeat it. The interpretation of this graph. All the photoelectrons emitted from the metal plate C emitter do not have the same energy. Photoelectric current is 0 when the stopping potential is sufficient to repel even the most energetic photoelectrons with the maximum kinetic energy, say K maximum, so that K maximum is equal to EV0. You know, the energy of this electrons is equal to the EV. V0 is the potential difference between the C and the A. So work done when electron moves between this potential difference, that is EV0, and that is equal to K maximum. Now repeat this experiment with the incident radiation of the same frequency is the same, remember, but of higher intensity I2, that is by keeping the light source nearer. And again for I3. So I3 is greater than I2 is greater than I1. Correct? Saturation currents are of higher values, but V0 is constant if frequency is the same. Very important equation this. Thus, for a given frequency of the incident radiation, the stopping potential is independent of its intensity. So stopping potential does not depend upon the intensity, remember. Stopping potential is same, intensity may be different, but stopping potential is the same for all I1, I3 and other. Next, the effect of frequency of incident radiation on stopping potential. So intensity is kept constant as in the first case, and variation of photocurrent and the collector potential, correct? The frequency is, the radiation is changed with the different frequencies nu1, nu2 and nu3. Change in the current and the potential with the frequency. What is kept constant? Intensity. There is bulb is kept at the light source, is kept at the S source is source of light or radiation. So incident radiation of light is kept constant. We are not changing the position of that source. The same values of saturation current for different frequencies, same values. Here saturation current is same. If intensity is different, saturation point will be different, but cutoff potential is same. Here frequencies are different, the cutoff potentials are different. See, stopping potentials are different for different frequencies. That is, energy of emitted electrons depends on the frequency. Energy of emitted electron, that depends upon the frequency, correct? So the stopping potential is more negative for higher frequency. Frequency is more, stopping potential is more. So nu3 is greater than nu2 is greater than nu3. This is minimum, this is maximum. So stopping potential, this is because electrons are more energetic, correct? Frequency is more, energy is more. Frequency, the energy of electron or particle is given by E is equal to h nu. We will see in the next topic. H nu. So nu is higher, correct? Energy is more. So nu3 is highest. So electrons emitted by this frequency of source, when this source is kept, light falls from this source on the emitter C, that is cathode, C of plate of the that apparatus, correct? Then electron emitted will be higher energy. So more is the energy, kinetic energy, more will be the stopping potential. That is maximum kinetic energy, K maximum is equal to EV03. For this EV02, for this EV01, because this is an electrons emitted when light radiation of frequency nu1 falls is have minimum energy. Correct? So stopping potential will be less in the case. But saturation current is the same because we are not changing the intensity. Saturation current, that depends upon the intensity. As we have seen in the earlier case, frequency we kept constant, intensity we changed, saturation current were different, they were different, but stopping potential was same because frequencies was same. Here frequencies are different, so stopping potentials are different. So it is a variation of photoelectric current with the collector plate potential, correct? When you decrease the potential, the current will decrease. When you make it negative and decrease at particular potential, the photocurrent stops. When potential of the anode plate A becomes V01, then most energetic electrons will be repel and it won't reach to the plate A. So no current will flow in the circuit, that current will be 0. Now when you change the frequency nu2, keeping the distance same, intensity is same, correct? But this has more energy. So electron emitted from the cathode emitter will have higher energy. More energy is electron having kinetic energy K maximum, then the stopping potential, more negative potential is required to stop the electron coming towards the A, correct? Similarly, nu3 is the highest in all three. You can take more also, but in these three, nu3 has highest. So stopping potential will be highest in the case of highest frequency of source. So variation of photoelectric current with the collector plate potential. This is the potential, this is the current direction. Current, saturation current is the same, but it decreases, becomes 0 at V0, one negative or retarding potential. The 11.43 on page number 391, this is a continue from the earlier lecture. The note from the graph that is the current versus voltage for different frequencies keeping the intensity constant. We see that the stopping potential are in the order of V03 is greater than the V02 is greater than the V01 if the frequencies are in the order of nu3 is greater than nu1. Correct? This implies that the greater the frequency of the incident radiation or incident light, the greater is the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons. Consequently, we need greater retarding potential to stop them completely. That is, if we plot a graph between the nu against the stopping potential, the graph is a straight line. There is a stopping potential on the y-axis, on the x-axis it is frequency of the incident radiation, nu. The V0 varies linearly with, that is potential V0, stopping potential V0 varies linearly with the frequency nu. Correct? There exists a certain minimum cutoff frequency nu0. This for metal A, this for metal B. This cutoff frequency is called the threshold frequency. That is, stopping potential is 0. These observations have two implications. Now, what we can say from this observation, the kinetic maximum kinetic energy K maximum of the photoelectrons varies linearly with the frequency, but is independent on the intensity. Maximum kinetic energy depends on the frequency, but it does not depend on the intensity, because this frequency graph is straight line. Stopping potential that depends upon the frequency. No photoelectric emission is possible if the frequency is less than the certain. If the frequency of incident radiation is, it is here, it's less than the certain minimum frequency, called the cutoff frequency or threshold frequency. We call it as a threshold frequency. If the frequency of the incident radiation is less than less than the cutoff frequency. How high is the intensity may be? Intensity may be very high, but if frequency is less than the certain minimum frequency called the cutoff frequency or threshold frequency, no electron emission will take place. Very, very important point. Once the frequency of incident light exceeds the threshold frequency, that is the cutoff frequency, the threshold frequency, the photoelectric emission starts instantaneously without any time lag. Correct? That is, as soon as the light falls on this, if provided the frequency is greater than the certain minimum frequency called threshold frequency, the photoelectric emission will start instantly without any time lag. The time is about 10 to the minus 9 seconds or less, that is instantly. So, what conclusion we can take? Summary, there is laws of photoelectric emission, we call it. For a given photosensitive material and the frequency of incident radiation above the threshold frequency, the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of light. Correct? So, photocurrent is directly proportional to intensity of light. For a given photosensitive material is the same and the frequency is a constant. Second, for a given photosensitive material and the frequency of incident radiation, the saturation current is found to be proportional to the intensity. If intensity is more, saturation current will be more of the incident radiation. Whereas the stopping potential is independent on the intensity, but stopping potential is independent on the this intensity of light. Remember, intensity of light depends upon the saturation current or current. More is the intensity, more photons will fall on the photosensitive plate, more electrons will be liberated or emitted from the emitter or cathode or photosensitive plate, and more current will flow. Correct? So, more intensity, the saturation current will be higher. For a given photosensitive material, there exists a certain minimum cutoff frequency of the incident radiation called the threshold frequency, below which no emission takes place, no emission of photoelectron takes place, no matter how high is the intensity may be or how intense the incident light is. Above the threshold frequency, the stopping potential or the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectrons increases linearly with the frequency of incident radiation. So, as we have seen, the stopping potential frequency graph is a straight line, earlier graph. Fourth, photoelectric emission is an instantaneous process. As soon as the light falls on the photosensitive plate, the electrons are emitted without any time lag, without any appreciation time lag. That is, time is 10 to the minus 9 seconds. It's a very less time. Or less even. When the incident radiation is dim even. Incident radiation may be dim, but if frequency is greater than the certain minimum frequency called threshold frequency, if frequency is less than the cutoff frequency or threshold frequency, no emission will take place, how high is the intensity may be. But intensity may be very less, light may be very dim, and light source is kept very away from that, but if frequency is greater than the threshold frequency, electron emission starts instantly without any time lag. Now, different photosensitive materials respond differently to light. Selenium, for example, selenium is more sensitive than Zn and zinc and the copper. The same photosensitive substance gives a different response to the light of different wavelength. For example, ultraviolet light gives rise to a photoelectric effect in the copper, while green or red light won't give. The green and red light won't emit the electron from the copper. Ultraviolet light will emit the electrons from the copper. Correct. Now, next topic 11.5 on page number 293. The photoelectric effect and the wave theory of light, or we can say failure of the classical wave theory of to explain photoelectric effect. The classical wave theory has been put forward the wave theory, and that fails to explain the photoelectric effect. Let us see it. According to the wave theory, when the wavefront of light strikes a metal surface, The free electrons at the surface absorbs the radiation energy continuously. Greater the intensity of, now we have seen that intensity is greater, the incident radiation, the greater are the amplitudes. Intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. We have seen the wave theory. Intensity I is directly proportional to square of the amplitude A. So, greater is the intensity, greater will be the amplitude of electric and magnetic fields, because electromagnetic waves are the waves having the electric and magnetic field at right angle to the propagation of light. If light travels in the propagates in the direction of x axis along the, then electric field will be along the y axis and the magnetic field will be along the z axis. Correct. So, hence higher intensity should liberate photoelectrons with greater kinetic energy, which is against the photoelectric experimental observation from the photoelectric experiment, as we have discussed just now. That should liberate the photoelectrons with greater kinetic energy, whereas greater kinetic energy photoelectrons are liberated due to the only frequency, not on the intensity. But this is contrary to the experimental result, that the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons does not depend on the intensity of lights. Note it. So, this is the failure of the wave theory. It cannot explain the photoelectric effect, intensity of the incident radiation. Now, next point, second failure of the wave theory to explain the photoelectric effect. No matter what the frequency of incident radiation is, a light wave of sufficient intensity over a sufficient time, but if frequency of this is less than the certain value, it won't emit, should be able to impart enough energy required to eject the electrons from the metal surface. Thus, the wave theory fails to explain the existence of the threshold frequency. It cannot explain the existence of threshold frequency, because intensity may be high, but if frequency is less than that, it won't emit. The energy of light wave is smoothly and evenly distributed across the advancing wavefront. Each electron intercepts an insignificantly small amount of energy, very less amount of energy, so it should require more time, the finite time, to escape from the metal surface. This is also contrary or against the experimental things of the observed from the photoelectric wave. Actually, the emission, according to this photoelectric experiment, actually the emission of is almost instantaneous, that is 10⁻⁹ power -9 second or less than that. So, it should, this also the second failure of the wave theory of light. So, correct. So, next topic we will see that matter has a dual nature, that is light is in the form of the quanta. Einstein explained this thing and he used the Max Planck's quantum theory. Max Planck said the light is in the form of packets, quantums. It is in a discrete form. Light it contains as a wave. Suppose this is a light. It is not like this. It is like this, quanta. It has a waves of certain frequency and energy is equal to h nu. Nu is the frequency. So, light is a quantized, it is a discrete value it has. So, this is actually it has a wave and it is a particle. Sometimes it acts as a wave, sometimes it acts as a particle. It is a dual nature. So, we will see in the next topic, the next lecture, Einstein's photoelectric equation or energy quantization. Energy is quantized. Energy of the radiation is quantized. This is a quanta. Photons. It is called photon. Photon is a light. There is a photon. Having the energy, each photon has energy h nu is equal to. Or we can say write the Einstein explanation of photoelectric effect and derive the Einstein equation, that is K maximum is h nu minus phi 0. Phi 0 is a work function. So if light, incident light radiation is in the form of the quanta, and suppose it is this one frequency nu, so energy is equal to h nu, remember, correct? So if it falls on the metal, the electrons from the metal it ejects, part of the energy is used to remove the electron called the work function. Energy required to remove the electrons from the atom of the photosensitive plate, say this is a photosensitive plate, is this electron is liberated, that is work function phi. So part of h nu will be used to liberate the electron from that is phi 0 is the work function energy will be used. Extra energy will impart the kinetic energy, half mv square, that is maximum energy imparted to the electron will move with the velocity v having so h nu is equal to phi 0 plus half mv square. H nu is equal to phi 0, that is phi 0 plus kinetic energy half mv square. So phi 0 you take on this side, so h nu minus phi 0 we can say. So maximum kinetic energy h nu minus h nu 0, this is the work function, correct? No? So maximum, now kinetic energy we know that it is always positive, so this term should be positive, this term should be positive, that is h nu should be greater than h nu 0, otherwise no electron will be emitted. So nu 0 should be less than nu, or nu minus nu 0 should be positive. So there should be a certain minimum frequency, threshold frequency below which no photoelectron will be emitted. You can again simplify more, that h is the Planck constant, h common nu minus nu 0, correct? So if nu is frequency is less than the nu 0, this will be negative. So kinetic energy can never be negative. So this should be positive. So nu should be greater than nu 0. Nu should be greater than the frequency of the incident radiation should be greater than the nu 0, that is phi 0 is equal to h nu 0. Einstein photoelectric equation and the explanation of photoelectric effect on the basis of the experimental data. So in 1905, Einstein proposed a new theory to explain the photoelectric effect. According to this theory, not only emission but absorption of energy called photon also takes place in discrete unit called quanta. Remember, this is in the discrete, that is packets, not continuous. It is quantized, energy is quantized. He used the Max Planck's quantum theory, not classical theory. According to classical theory, the wave is a continuous, has a continuous energy. For an example, suppose what is continuous and what is quantized, what is the discrete or quantas. You take the two beakers and put in the one, this is a marbles, say these are marbles. You want to put the marble by counting in the another beaker, so you can take one by one. You can take one by one. But suppose there is a water in a one beaker and you want to put this water, pour this water into another beaker, that is you will have to pour it, that is continuously there will be a flow. So this is like a continuous flow of water is, actually water is also quantized, but we cannot count the molecules of water. It is also composed of molecule of hydrogen and oxygen. Water is also composed H2O, but we cannot put the one H2O, two H2O like that. So just to explain the difference between the what is continuous and what is quantized, correct? This could be counted to packets in the form of energy is quantized. So this the law was given by this theory was put forward by Max Planck. And Einstein used this Max Planck quantum theory to explain the photoelectric effect. Correct? So, according to this theory, this I said not only the emission but absorption of energy called photon also takes place in discrete units called quantas. So, suppose the wave is coming, the light wave is coming, it is not continuous, not like this, it is quantas, packets. Each quantas has a waves having the frequency h nu. This wave has a photon, that is, these are neither particle nor the waves, correct? So, this quantas contains the energy is equal to h nu. So, it is in the discrete form 1, 2, 3, you can count it also. And same, if wavelength is the same, all photons have the same energy. This is also h nu, this is also h nu. There is no change in the energy. H is a constant, Planck constant, nu is the frequency, because same, if wavelength is the same, the frequency will be same. Color is also same, color depends on the wavelength. Each quantum, that is photons, we call it photons, this is photon or quantas. Each photon has energy h nu, each photon has energy h nu, where nu is the frequency of the radiation. In the photoelectric effect, an electron absorbs the quantum of energy h nu of radiation, either it emits or absorbs. Suppose there is electron of the zinc plate. I have shown only one electron of the zinc plate. See, this is an electron, and if the quanta comes, it absorbs this energy. See, this is energy h nu and work function is phi 0. Then part of the energy will be used to remove the electron from the orbit of the zinc plate, that is phi 0. Extra energy, if it has exit energy, then it will give the impart the energy, kinetic energy, half mv square. That is called the maximum energy, half mv square plus phi 0, that is equal to total input energy of the photons, quanta. Electron absorbs quantum of energy h nu of radiation. If this quantum of energy is more than the minimum energy needed for the electrons to escape from the metal surface, that is work function. If work function is phi 0, then extra energy will be, if it is a phi 0 work function, then extra energy will impart the velocity to the electron, that is half mv square. Therefore, the K maximum or total energy h nu of a photon, partly it will be used to remove the electron, that is phi 0 work function, plus an energy K maximum. Correct? So, K maximum is equal to h nu minus phi 0. So, h nu, that is equal to K maximum plus phi 0. So, K maximum is equal to h nu minus phi 0, equation 1. This is the famous Einstein equation of photoelectric. This is a famous Einstein photoelectric equation, very, very important equation. Einstein was awarded a Nobel Prize for this explanation of photoelectric effect by using the Max Planck's quantum theory. More tightly bound electrons will emerge with a kinetic energy less than the maximum and kinetic energy K maximum. If electron is to be removed from the innermost orbit, suppose this orbit, it needs more energy, correct? So, the mv square will be less, the kinetic energy will be less. So, there will be kinetic energy half mv square of the electron liberated will be, or ejected or emitted will be less than the K maximum. With increase in the intensity of the light, number of electrons emitted per second increases, that will increase. However, maximum kinetic energy K maximum of electrons emitted is determined by the energy of the photon. Maximum kinetic energy, that is determined by energy of the photon. The number of photons, that depends upon the intensity, because more is the intensity, more will be the number of photons. So if suppose this is a photosensitive plate, zinc plate, and light is coming in the case of photons, so bulb is, light source is kept nearer, then more photon will come, number of photon will be more. So more photon, energy will be the same, energy will be h nu, it won't be more for the same color of light, correct? So more number of photon will eject more number of electrons, that photoelectric current will increase, but energy, that depends on the frequency. If you, instead of this source, if you change the source having the h nu dash, having the more higher frequency where nu dash is greater than nu, then kinetic energy imparted to the electron will be more, because work function is the same, metal is the same. So remember, so more tightly here in the same metal and for the same waves, more tightly bound electrons will emerge with a kinetic energy less than that. That is we have seen, but now let us see this one. With increase in the intensity of light, number of electrons emitted per second will increase. Number of electrons. Suppose this photon will emit one electron, this photon will emit another electron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8 and 4, 12. So 12 electrons will be emitted, correct? So number of electrons will be emitted will be more. However, maximum kinetic energy K maximum of electron emitted is determined by the energy of the photon. Suppose instead of this photon, another photon, light of another source, light of another source having the frequency nu dash. Say this is blue light. Blue light has frequency higher, wavelength shorter. Then and keeping the plate same Zn, correct? The electron emitted, it will, energy will be imparted partly to remove the electron, that is work function plus this, that is maximum K maximum is equal to h nu minus phi 0, correct? So h nu is more, h nu, instead of h nu here it is h nu dash, h nu dash. So K maximum will be more, h nu dash is more, here h nu is less, correct? Next point, according to the equation K maximum, equation 1, that is this one, we have seen K maximum is h nu minus phi 0. K maximum depends linearly on frequency. Higher is the frequency, K maximum will be more. So instead of frequency nu, it is nu dash. When nu dash is greater than nu, then K maximum will be in the second case will be more, and is independent on the intensity of the radiation, correct? In agreement with the observation, this is well with the agreement of the experimental results. Thus Einstein successfully explained that about this energy of the photon. In Einstein's picture, photoelectric effect arises from the absorption of a single quantum of radiation by a single electron. Single electron will absorb single quantum, one discrete value of the energy or packets we can say, or quanta or photon. The intensity of radiation, that is proportional to the number of energy quanta per unit area per unit time, number of photons per unit area per unit time. That is, it is irrelevant to this basic process. It is irrelevant to this basic process, because energy that it is independent on the intensity. Since K maximum must be non-negative, kinetic energy can never be negative, it will be always positive. Potential energy may be negative, positive, kinetic energy is always positive. So, kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy, K maximum must be non-negative, that is positive. Kinetic energy is always positive. That implies that the photoelectric emission is possible only if h nu is greater than phi 0 or h nu is greater than phi 0, that is work function h nu 0. Nu 0 is a threshold frequency, or nu should be greater than nu 0. H is constant, so nu should be greater than nu 0. H nu 0 is equal to phi 0, or phi 0 is equal to nu 0 is equal to phi 0 upon h. Phi 0 is the threshold frequency, minimum frequency required to remove the electron from the orbit. Thus, K maximum is equal to h nu minus, it is equal to h nu minus phi 0, and phi 0 is equal to h nu 0. So, phi 0 is h nu 0, that is h nu 0 and h nu. So, h nu, energy of the photon h nu minus work function phi 0, that is h nu 0. So, maximum energy is equal to h into bracket, we can write as nu minus nu 0. Now, if this is positive, this should be positive. Nu minus nu 0 should be positive, that is nu is greater than nu 0. If it is less than, then it will be negative, which is not possible, because kinetic energy is always positive. So, nu should be greater. So, nu minus nu 0 should be positive, that is nu should be greater than nu 0, correct. If nu is less than nu 0, no photoelectric emission is possible. So, photoelectric emission is possible when kinetic energy is 0, that is nu is equal to at the most nu 0. The frequency of the incident radiation or quanta must be equal to the threshold frequency or work function h nu 0. Thus, no photoelectric emission is possible if frequency of the incident radiation less than the certain minimum frequency called the threshold frequency, correct. Nu 0. No matter how intense, intensity may be very high. No matter how intense the radiant energy may be, or how long, you can take more time, but more time it falls. But source has an energy source has a frequency less than the threshold frequency, electron won't be emitted. To emit the electron, minimum energy required is equal to the work function phi 0, and phi 0 is equal to h nu 0. Phi 0 is equal to h nu 0. If it is less than that, that is nu 0 is less than nu, no electron will be emitted. How high intensity may be? Maybe the light source may be kept very close, but if frequency is very less, this is suppose the zinc plate, and source of the light is kept very close, but if frequency is nu is less than nu 0, no emission will take place. But if source is very far away, light source, but if zinc plate is here, but if frequency nu of the source, that is quanta, is nu is greater than nu 0, that is work function for this metal, then electron will be emitted, remember. So, the greater the number of energy quanta, the greater will be the number of electron. The greater is the number, where intensity is more, very near, the more quantas will fall, because light will fall in a more area, correct. Here, if it is far away, then less number of light, that is quanta. You put it in the quanta, is don't draw the ray. So, more quanta, if it is nearer, more quanta will fall. So, more electron will be removed. One quanta will remove the one electron. So, number of quanta will increase if intensity is more, but energy won't increase. The maximum energy that depends upon the frequency of incident radiation, correct. Number of energy quanta, the greater the number of energy quanta, the greater is the number of electrons absorbing the energy quanta, and greater is the therefore is the number of electrons coming out of the metal, and that is it will increase the current. That is why the photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of light. Intensity is more, the more electrons will be emitted, more will be the current in the circuit. The photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity. This also Einstein proves. We have seen this is the graph on 11.2 on page number 390. Already we have studied the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of light. Intensity is taken on the x-axis and photoelectric current is taken on the y-axis and plotted the graph. Graph is found to be a straight line. Why? Because intensity is more, that bulb light source is kept nearer, more photons will fall on the photosensitive plate. More, as a result, the more electron will be liberated, emitted from the Zinc plate or photosensitive plate. So, thereby current flowing in the circuit will increase. As we have studied earlier that the Einstein explained about the threshold frequency, and Einstein also explained about the intensity of light, correct, or radiant quanta. Third point, in the Einstein equation, maximum kinetic energy, that is K maximum is equal to EV0 also, stopping potential, where V0 is the stopping potential, and that is equal to h nu minus work function, that is EV0 is equal to h nu minus phi 0. Barabar? From equation 1 we have EV0 is equal to h nu minus, because h nu minus phi 0 is equal to K maximum, and K maximum is equal to EV0. V0 is a stopping potential. So, stopping potential V0 is equal to h upon E divided by E, phi 0 upon E. The phi 0 is the h nu 0. This is the work function. This is very, very important equation. It predicts that the V0 versus V curve, that is stopping potential V0 versus the frequency nu curve is a straight line. This is a straight line curve. Slope of this curve is h by E. The slope of the curve, that equation is this, just y is equal to mx plus c. This is a slope m, and this is x. Correct? This is a constant. So h upon E, this is the slope. H upon E, the slope. That is independent of the nature of the material. Remember, this is very another crucial point. Here phi 0 is equal to h nu 0. So nu 0 is equal to the threshold frequency is equal to work function upon h. The equation 2 suggests that more is the work function, greater will be the energy required to remove the electron. Frequency nu 0 corresponding to the minimum energy will be more, correct? Minimum energy required to remove the electron will be more. Another one after this, the Millikan wanted to disprove the Einstein equation or Einstein theory, and from this he did it with the sodium metal and plotted the graph and got the value of h upon E, and by knowing known value of the E, he got the value of h. That was well agreed with the h determined by other methods. So Millikan, who wanted to disprove the Einstein, he accepted the validity of this Einstein theory. So Einstein successfully explained the laws of photoelectric effect in elegant manner, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize for. Now let us see particle nature of light, that is a photon picture, correct? What are the characteristics of a photon? In interaction of radiation with matter, the radiation behaves as if it is made up of particle called photons or quanta, correct? Number 2, each photon has the energy E is equal to h nu, and nu is the frequency, that is equal to c upon lambda, because velocity is equal to h nu. Velocity of light c is equal to h nu. Therefore, nu is equal to C upon, or nu lambda also, C velocity is equal to nu lambda. Frequency into wavelength is also velocity. Correct? These are different equations. So, nu is equal to C upon lambda. So, you can put this h nu, and nu is equal to C upon lambda, and momentum P. Momentum P is equal to h nu upon C. Momentum, the energy E is equal to, according to Einstein, mc square, mass into velocity square. Now, therefore, mass into velocity is the momentum, mc is the momentum, that is P. I write P at the, so P momentum is equal to mass into velocity. So, mc is equal to energy upon C, energy upon C, correct. So, what is energy? Energy is h nu, that is equal to h nu upon C, correct. So, momentum is h nu upon C, and nu upon C is lambda. So, nu upon C is 1 upon lambda, that is h upon lambda also, correct. Velocity, this is C is equal to nu lambda, nu lambda. So, what is nu upon C? That is nu upon C, nu upon C, nu upon C. Take lambda on the left side, that is 1 upon lambda. So, nu upon C is 1 upon lambda, that is equal to h upon, this is 1 upon lambda. P is momentum P is equal to h c upon h nu upon C, or is equal to h upon lambda also. Energy is equal to h nu is equal to also h c upon lambda, correct. And the speed C, correct, is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, the speed of light. So, photon has the energy E is equal to h nu, or you can write h c upon lambda, has a momentum and has a speed. Speed is equal to the speed of light. 3 point. Number third, all photons of light of a particular frequency or lambda have the same energy. If lambda or frequency is the same, energy will be same. So, energy is equal to mc square, or energy is equal to h nu also is equal to h c upon lambda also, you can write anywhere, or mc square also you can write. It has a mass also. Sometimes they ask in examination, has it got a mass? Yes, photon has mass. And correct, all photons of light of particular frequency or wavelength have the same energy and momentum P, whatever the intensity of radiation may be. It does not depend upon the intensity. By increasing the intensity of a given wavelength, there is a only increase in the number of photons only, as we have discussed earlier, per second crossing a given area with each correct area, with each photon having the same energy. If color is the same, energy will be the same. If intensity increases, the energy of photon won't increase, number of photon will increase. Remember, number of photon will be more, but energy of photon will be the same, all photons will be the same. Thus, photon energy is independent on the intensity of radiation. The photons are next. Photons are electrically neutral and they are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. They are electrically neutral. So, if they are passed from the electric and magnetic field, then they won't be deflected. They are uncharged as the light rays, gamma rays, X rays. They are not affected by electric or magnetic field. They will go straight way. They cannot be deviated, because they won't be influenced or affected by electric or magnetic field. But if it is electron, beta ray, they will be affected. Beta ray will be deflected toward the positively charged plate if it is passed from the capacitor plate. then it is negatively charged. Alpha particle will be positively charged, so it will be attracted toward the negatively charged plate. But gamma rays, X-rays, photons, light rays, they are electromagnetic waves. They are having electric field and magnetic field. Remember, but they are uncharged. They are unaffected by both the fields. Remember. In a photoparticle collision, now in collision, such as a photon-electron collision, the total energy and total momentum are conserved. Perfectly elastic collision. Just like the collision between two atomic particles, energy and momentum both are conserved. However, the number of photons may not be conserved in a collision. The photon may be absorbed or a new photon may be created. Suppose electron-positron pair are produced from the gamma rays. If gamma rays, this is called the materialization in the cosmic ray region. If gamma rays are having the energy h nu, this photon has energy h nu, then it will materialize in the proton and antiproton of about correct this two. The gamma ray has energy more than 1 million electron volt. Similarly, electron and proton, see, this is the electron and this is a proton. Of electron and proton, they annihilate. If they collide, they will produce the photons. Correct? So, number of photons during this collision may not be here. Photon is disappear already. This in the initially it is a one photon, but in final product, correct? In the reactants it is only photon, and in the products only there is no photons, only electron and proton.